this is our community. It's a real community store.
11 months later, Boulder takes another step toward healing.
It gives me shivers right now just thinking about that day.
The Table Mesa King Supers is ready to reopen. Shoppers say they're ready as well.
I'm just looking forward to it getting back to normal.
Governor Polis calls on some of the biggest names in music to support wildfire relief.
Every penny goes to the victims of the fires. All the artists are doing it for free.
Too many foster kids are falling behind. A new bill seeks to change that.
It's really going to set them up so that they can be successful in life.
Almost 11 months ago, we lost 10 people in our community. A gunman walked into the Table Mesa King Supers and opened fire. And that Boulder store has remained closed since then and is now ready to reopen and bring some healing to the community. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Denver 7. I'm Ann Trujillo.
I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're with us tonight. And there have been delays in this reopening, but doors are set to open tomorrow. Denver 7's Ivan Rodriguez joins us live in Boulder.
And Ivan, you spoke with community members today telling you what this reopening means to them.
For many who live near this King Supers, it's exciting to have the store reopen, but it's not only a matter of convenience, it also shows a sense of strength and rebuilding.
It gives me shivers right now just thinking about that day.
It's been 11 months since the lives of 10 people were taken at the Table Mesa King Supers.
It's quite a tragedy in our community. I've shopped at that King Supers for about 24 years now.
For many, time brought with it reflection and rebuilding. The doors of this King Supers reopening on Wednesday is another step toward recovery.
This community isn't just strong, it's stronger, and the reopening of this store signifies that strength and that we're continuing to come together as a community.
From the outside, some of the changes to the store are clear, with large windows across the front, a new entry, and higher ceilings with more light. King Supers says safety was at the forefront of its designs, but couldn't elaborate on what was done.
Any specifics regarding the safety enhancements is proprietary information and could potentially, be a risk for us to share that. But we will always continue to focus on safety.
For shoppers, the reopening of the store feels like a step in the right direction.
It's a real community store. I went to several memorials afterwards, and people were saying, yeah, I met my husband in the parking lot. So I think it will mean a lot for the community to have a store so close by.
I wouldn't have any reservations shopping here again, not at all.
The store will officially open to the public Wednesday after a ceremony honoring the victims.
Looking forward to this event opening up, remembering the lives that were lost, but also looking forward to some positive and community building.
On the far west corner of this lot, there will also be a tree garden that's installed in honor of the 10 lives that were lost. Live in Boulder, Ivan Rodriguez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Ivan. And the shooter there in King Supers remains in the State Mental Hospital in Pueblo tonight. Now, twice he's been found incompetent to stand trial. The next court hearing's in March.
And Governor Polis has since signed bills into law that are aimed at preventing another tragedy like the King Supers shooting. Looking closer now, we now have an Office of Gun Violence Prevention, which was given an initial $3 million to put towards solutions to reduce gun violence. Gun owners are also now required to safely store their firearms or face a $1,000 fine. Also, people found guilty of violent misdemeanors are not allowed to buy guns for 5 years after convictions. And Congressman Joe Neguse is trying to implement that law on a national level, and he introduced the End Gun Violence Act in November. Currently, 28 states do not have any restrictions on preventing those convicted of violent misdemeanors from purchasing a gun. So far, Neguse's bill is still awaiting a vote.
The family of Devon Bailey has reached a nearly $3 million settlement with the city of Colorado Springs. That 19-year-old was shot and killed by police in 2019. In addition to the money, the city is committing to significant changes in the police department's policies and training. The officers who killed Bailey were later found to be acting in self-defense.
Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters was detained by police today over allegedly recording a court hearing without permission. That court hearing was for Peters' deputy clerk, who was charged with cybercrime after allegedly using her boss's computer while being barred from county buildings. Peters was released on scene. A grand jury is currently considering whether she will face charges for leaking sensitive election information last year. Okay, right now, the Douglas County School Board is meeting for the first time since the board's conservative majority fired the superintendent Friday night. The board did not allow public comment during Friday's controversial vote. And tonight's meeting, by the way, this is a closed study session, but we promise we will listen in and let you know if anything noteworthy comes out of it.
People impacted by the Marshall Fire have until midnight to either opt in or opt out of the debris removal program. And the county will remove immediate hazards regardless of what a homeowner chooses, and you'll find the form how to do this on the county's website. Now, meanwhile, we're still waiting to find out which contractor will be selected to clean up the area. The county hasn't said how much it's going to cost, but town leaders in Superior say it could cost $75,000 per lot. Dave Matthews, the Avett Brothers, One Republic, Brittany Howard, Nathaniel Rateliff, just a few of the performers taking part in a benefit concert this month for those Marshall Fire victims.
And you'll have to jam out at home because the concert is virtual. Nathaniel Rateliff says it will still be worth it to tune in.
We're excited to help out with this issue. A lot of these homes that were destroyed are middle-class families that are underinsured, and so we really want to hopefully keep people located where they are and keep them from having to relocate. Hopefully we can do an old-fashioned barn raising for this small community.
Sounds like a fun idea, right? Tickets go on sale starting tomorrow morning, and they're asking for $10 each. Of course, you can donate more, and those who get tickets will get a link to the virtual benefit concert on February 28th, and we have all the details up right now. You'll find it on thedenverchannel.com. So the Broncos, they may have found themselves a series bidder to buy the team.
Media tycoon Byron Allen told Bloomberg he will be making a bid. Our Broncos insider Troy Rank says the team could go for upwards of $4 billion, and he estimates the team will get probably around 5 serious bids. Now, if Allen becomes the owner, he would be the first black majority owner in the NFL. Well, Denver City Council has approved an additional $3.9 million for the city's Safe Outdoor Space program. The Colorado Village Collaborative, which runs the spaces, projects the funding will help shelter 370 people and put 90 people in stable housing this year. The collaborative operates 3 campsites across Denver, and this new contract hopes to increase that number to at least 4.
College applications, they can be daunting for any student, and for those in the foster care system, those challenges are even greater. Denver 7 politics reporter Megan Lopez has more on a new bill, hoping to offer free tuition to those needing the most help.
It can be traumatizing moving from home to home as a foster youth.
A lot of times in trash bags. There's no dignity in a trash bag.
Traumatizing to feel so unwanted. A feeling Tori Schuler knows all too well. She's a former foster youth who now runs a program to give a little dignity back to these kids in the form of luggage.
They're going home in nice rolling bags and not in trash bags.
She knows about the hurdles foster youth face.
The odds are stacked against you.
Less than 30% of these students graduate high school. Just 13% go to college by 21, and only 3% graduate with a degree.
It's not because we're not smart. We're smart. It's not because we're not capable. We're very capable. It was that they couldn't manage everything else.
So the statistics around foster youth and their futures are pretty grim. The majority of foster youth that do not go into higher education end up homeless, incarcerated, or dead.
Something Senator Rachel Zenzinger and a bipartisan group of lawmakers are trying to change.
For me, as a teacher myself, I just can't believe that we haven't done this sooner.
Senate Bill 8 would waive college tuition and fees for these students and provide someone to help them learn to apply for federal financial aid, a program.
I entered foster care at age 14, and I was jumping around from home to home for about 5 years.
That could make all the difference for students like Emily Murray.
I remember really worrying about loans because I don't have a family to support me financially.
Emily is one of the lucky ones. She was able to get enough scholarships to defy the odds.
But I'm also saddened because I know that I am the only foster kid on a graduation stage.
She's now in graduate school, lucky to be living home with her foster family while doing remote courses. But she and Tori and Senator Zenzinger say education shouldn't come down to luck, and these students deserve opportunity.
Kids in foster care are our state's most marginalized population in education.
So they're hoping this bill will pass and that it will make a difference. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
And the bill passed its first committee test last week, and despite being bipartisan, 2 Republican senators voted against it. They said it's the right issue, just the wrong solution. Colorado has a problem.
They're the worst that I've seen in my 40 years.
And not enough people to solve it.
We have residents that are reaching out to us saying they don't feel safe.
Instead of putting more officers toward fixing the problem, a major police department is taking some away.
Denver 7 Investigates is going deeper on why and hearing from victims who are now taking matters into their own hands.
I really think that something has to change.
Mild again today. Coming up, I'll let you know when temperatures are going to hit 60.
And one resort's making sure all Coloradans have an easier time learning their way around the slopes.